This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 6+ years in that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to be part of future conversations, please check out our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, all the links in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures where you can watch us record this show live. You can also contribute to the conversation in that chat. It's awesome, good, fun. If you want to support the show, you can. You can go to your podcast service of choice, give us a 5-star rating, written review, all that. And if you're watching us on the YouTube, you can like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'd love to chat to you there as well. You can also support us financially at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Kind of brain farted halfway even through that second one. That's right, take two, everyone. I just kind of got real fuzzy in the back end there. How are you, dude?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah? How's the things? Apparently, you're pretty knackered right now. Pretty tired. Yeah.
Had pretty rough night with the kid last night. She woke up a few times, and then at about 1:30 this morning, she just woke up screaming, couldn't settle her, hating life. So I pulled her out, and then she came and slept with us. And then kids don't just sleep; they kick and turn and punch in the face and scratch the blankets. And
so my kid's 3.5 now. And because we had the same thing. So he had really sick one time. He was teething at the same time. We're like, all right, whatever, just get in the bed. He hasn't left yet.
Yeah, so this is the first time she slept in our bed about 3 months, and she's already been kicked out again.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, we tried. Good. It's just that he just was a butthole, and it was just one of those things that, he wouldn't for 2 weeks. We're like, all right, we're gonna die if we don't.
Well, we're about to do the big transition to her big bed in her own room. So no longer in the bassinet next to us. She'll be in her cot in her own bed. So that'll be well, the original plan was to do it last night, but she was in a foul mood, so we're like, let's just not do it.
Let's just wait on that one.
Yeah, so we'll see how we go. We'll get there. Kids are fun.
I've had a garbage week.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, you're about to learn a lot about me. Really, really.
Oh, I know. I know what's going on here.
So, I have a fissure.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. For those who don't know, a fissure is a small cut in the inner lining of your butt. And where sitting, standing, laying, doing any movement just hurts. And it is a result of my beautiful and ever so lovely IBS that I love to have. Because just sometimes it goes one way and it's really easy to poops. Sometimes it goes the other way and it's really hard to poops. And apparently it's been really hard to poops. And it damaged my butt. So it has been horrendously painful. I'm talking debilitatingly painful. So I went to work on Monday, as I do, because my work. Yeah. And I couldn't sit. Couldn't stand. I was dying. I'm lying on my back, just dead. Straight up dead. My boss what's going on with you? I'm like, oh, my asshole. But yeah, and then I had to call my doctor and be like, he's like, hey, cool, how can I help you, dude? And I'm like, my butthole hurts. And then so I was going through this conversation and went, wow, my bum hurts. And then, and then it turns out, I've got a fissure and it sucks. And even sitting right now sucks. It's just horrid.
So how come you don't have a hemorrhoid donut to sit on to alleviate the pressure?
Because it just hurt.
On the anus.
It don't matter. It don't matter. However I sit, however I lay, it just sucks. Lying in bed just sucks. And
it's a rough life.
It's a rough life, man. No matter what I'm doing, it hurts in the anus.
So what's the recovery period for a...
4 to 6 weeks. Or until the body decides to repair itself.
Can you not go and purchase a numbing cream to just...
That's what I've got now.
Squirt up the bunghole.
And that's
for lack of a better application.
That's pretty much what I got to do. And like, yeah, that's the only way I can manage the pain right now.
PlayStation.
That is true. This is a weird Australian PlayStation talk. Like, because this is, you come for us, and this is what's going on, and for that reason, it's been very hard to play games this week. But like, one thing we have played, which is the main topic of the show, we played Iron Man VR. I've been trying to play that, and that involves a lot of standing and squatting and moving, and it's just tearing it up. It was a bold strategy, Cotton, and it's rough times. Yeah. It's rough times to be me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's pretty good. Oh, but additionally, on a good note though, Ryan Get Less Fat update. I have now crossed the 18 kilo mark. That happened over the week. Thank you very much. Nice. So close to that big old 20. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what the goal is going to be. 20. I got no idea. Yeah, the dash is correctly in the chat. Square, cross, triangle, and the big broken circle.
It says brown.
I changed it because brown sounds gross. It's broken.
Broken circle.
But yeah, so 18 broken. Kilos. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it's like I think I've got out of that little plateau that I had a couple of weeks ago, and I think I'm really progressing again, which I'm very, very happy with. Hopefully, I'll be even thinner again in a couple of weeks. What about you? Are you still pushing that life?
I am a pant size down, but apparently not a t-shirt size down. Oh, which is bumming me out a little bit. It just comes down
to where you hold your weights.
It's bumming me down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm in this awkward position too where all my t-shirts are the same size. Mm-hmm. Half of them fit me real good, and half of them are a little bit too tight at the moment. I'm just like, why are you doing this to me?
I hate that.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like, I think I'm talking about this because this has kind of happened over the last couple of weeks. It's like I've transitioned into the next size down. I think I'm 2 sizes down now overall.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like, well, I used to always wear bigger shirts anyway. So now I can just go and buy shirts off shelves. Like this, I saw it at EB Games. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. Like previously that wasn't an option, but now it is. So now I get to, shamelessly wear shirts again, which is very, very cool. It's very nice. Except my butt hurts. That's like the biggest.
My butt hurts.
That's probably the biggest. So at some point I may have to stand up just to alleviate some ass pain while we do the show. Like you may not notice, like, you know how I repositioned earlier and I'm kind of craning forward? That's why. Because I'm using my thighs as my anchor point to not to hurt the tuchus. All right, let's get into the next part. This is the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Max, what happened?
Let's kick some stuff off. Let's go with Sony are currently in biddings for a new developer.
Hey!
According to Bloomberg, Sony is considering a bid for Hong Kong-based holding company LeYu.
What? A bid? They're considering a bid?
A bid. Bid for Hong Kong-based holding company LeYu Technologies. LeYu Technologies owns Warframe developer Digital Extremes. Also has the Brink creator Splash Damage as one of its many subsidiaries. Lots of multiplayer-focused devs. One would argue lacking in PlayStation's
very much so.
First-party titles. So Tencent is also currently in bids for LeYu and has made a $1.23 billion bid for it.
Jesus.
Quote, Sony is hoping that it can edge out other bidders with greater certainty of financing, Bloomberg sources explained. LeYu's controlling shareholder aims to choose a buyer and sign an agreement as soon as this month, the people have said. Talks are still ongoing and no final decision has been made. Other bidders could still emerge. But this is exciting news because most of PlayStation's first-party AAA big games are all solo, single-player, story-based narrative games.
Yeah, which I do think is certainly Sony's bread and butter, and I think that's 100% a good thing.
Not that that's a bad thing, but variety is also good.
Yeah, but that's very true. Variety is what makes them stronger. But when you look at the competition, like your Xboxes, they don't have any of it. It's just kind of sweet.
And by bringing in a new developer, they're not taking away any of the developers that work at their like you said, their bread and butter is their solo single player games. They're not making them move away from that to focus on a multiplayer title.
I guess
they're
it
bringing
depends.
someone in to work on it specifically.
I guess it depends what they want to work on. Like, is this in order to get Warframe? Because like Warframe's already out and it's on everything.
Warframe's huge, so
they're not going to like come in and make it PlayStation exclusive or anything. They can't do that. It's kind of like too late for that. But you know, like what would they work on? Because if they're picking up this company, and this company has a bunch of subsidiaries that are already working on multiplayer games, or supporting sort of games like Warframe or those sort of what are they called?
Games as a service.
Games as a service games. Then like, well, what are they going to work on that's new? Or are you just buying them because they have that as a money in rather than like a future plan? Because there's long been discussion around like maybe they should bring like SOCOM back so they can like you know try get in that sort of Rainbow Six Siege-esque market. You know, there's a bunch of different things they could do to sort of hit multiplayer. Because even though I do agree, and they do have like the not even a niche anymore, just like the third person action adventure single player narrative thing down. Like if we have a look at the shelf behind us, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 5 different big PlayStation games that are just exactly that description.
Yeah.
So it would greatly benefit them to have that in the fold, but I would personally rather them put the money into say Blue Point. Because think about it, because 1 point whatever bajillion dollars is quite a substantial amount of money, and seeing as Insomniac was picked up for just under $300 million, I understand why there'd be a lot of money on these guys, because they're not just Insomniac, they're not just one team, they're a company that owns a number of teams, so you have to obviously pay off whatever all that cumulative teams work. But I don't know. I wouldn't put that on my list of priorities if I was PlayStation. But then again, is that it's hitting a market they don't have, and Blue Point, although remakes are awesome, may not be it's certainly a good long-term investment as they. I mean,
like you said, most of these games are games as a service. They're going to have a constant income, whereas a remastering studio is you buy that game once and that's generally what you're going to make from it until they do the next one. Like
there is such a unique and impressive skill set with at Blue Point and from the games that they're able to release.
I agree.
So, and then like as we move into the next generation, their knowledge base, the skill is more important now than it ever was before. About the idea of them bringing like PS2 games into PS5 or PS3 games into PS5, and that's we're getting 2-3 generations gone from those, and there are games that are stuck on those consoles that I think would be more beneficial to be on this current generation. Like if you look at your likes of Metal Gear or your Demon Souls, which is was gone until now. Metal Gear is one of the other rumored games that they were working on.
I would love a Metal Gear.
I just absolutely piss my pants. Good on them. If this is in fact true, but I think they'll be fighting a tough fight to outbid Tencent. They're that sweet China money.
Yeah, well, and like Reverend Puck was in the chat, if Tencent gets that, Warframe is going to be an insane microtransaction game. It already is at the moment, but it'll become more egregious, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Sticking with Sony developers, Sony's new first-party team based in San Diego is expected to be working on the Uncharted franchise.
So Sony San Diego already exists. They are the team that make MLB The Show. But there's been a lot of hirings in the last year or so, 2 years, and they're looking as if they've got 2 teams over there now rather than just doing baseball. They're also doing some other stuff. So
their most recent recruit, Naughty Dog environment artist Zach Oliver. Zach's most recent work was The Last of Us Part 2. Zach's transitioned to the visual arts studio group last month, presumably having finished his work on Last of Us 2. He'll serve as a senior environment artist on an unannounced project, which many expect to be some kind of Uncharted sequel or spin-off.
So this has been in the rumor for a while.
Quite some time,
yeah. How are you with a Uncharted game that isn't Naughty Dog? Because even the Lost Legacy was still handled by Naughty Dog. Does that how are you with it not being Nathan Drake? How are you with it not being?
Well, see, I think they finished their story so nicely that a spin-off is their only option. Like it can't be Uncharted 5.
Correct.
It's got because that story has been finished. So it wouldn't be too bad if a new team took it, I guess, because it's not a a true Uncharted game, so to speak.
It is, like, it's a weird line because I love Nathan Drake, I love Elena, I love Sully. I think them as a group is amazing. And then you get all the secondary characters, you know, like his brother and Chloe and Nadine and like all, you know, when we saw the three of them in the Lost Legacy. And I love the Lost Legacy. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way to expand on the world that had already and the universe of Uncharted outside of Drake, well, semi outside Drake. But I do wonder where they go from here. Are we going to get more like side stories? Are we going to, you know?
I mean, they could, you know, we could be playing as Sully back when he was a youngster.
That'd be pretty cool.
We could learn Sully's story.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting way to go
Like,
about it.
I'm sure there's definitely stories that they could tell. I mean, not to spoil Uncharted 4, but you know, there is Uncharted 4, 5. What are we up to?
This is 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not to spoil Uncharted 4, but there's definitely someone that could be.
Yeah, like the way that game
could
ends.
Play as a pro tag for.
There is a setup there for a new venture. Do you see him going down that route?
I could.
It's reasonable.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously this is all speculation and rumor, but it does sound like they've got some really good talent coming into it.
Yeah, man, and it's cool to have San Diego do something else other than baseball. Even though I effing love MLB the show, it is cool they're able to stretch their wings and do something else.
Well, on the back of your bringing up baseball, let's talk about another sports game that made some waves this week.
Sports.
Earlier this week, we got some details on NBA 2K21. The big details being that its standard pricing will raise from $60 USD to $69.99 USD. Coming from research from IDG Consulting and GamesIndustry.biz, game pricing has been relatively static since 2005, despite developing costs increasing between 200 to 300%. Quote, the last time that next-gen launch software price went up was in 2005 and 2006, when it went from $49.99 US to $59.99 US. At the start of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 generation. During that time, the cost and prices in other affiliated verticals have gone up. Asaki pointed out that in the same time, cable prices have increased 105% and cinema tickets have gone up 39%. He continued, even with the increase to $69.99 USD for a next-gen game, that price increase from 2005 to 2020 next-gen is only up 17%, far lower than the other comparisons. What do you reckon?
Makes sense.
So obviously in Australia, our games are generally priced at $79.
Yeah, so the RRP here in Australia is $109.95. So it looks to be going to $120, I presume. Yep. If not, like, yeah, remember then. But even then, due to the competitive nature of the retail business, most things sort of bounce out about $99 for retail. Yep. But then you'll get, you know, like the likes of JB pushing them for $69, you know, on day of release. It used to be $49, but then that's bumped up as the cost in order to create physical games has gone up, and with the exchange rate being a bit garbage. So if anything, that means the lowest that we would pay in a competitive physical retail would probably be like $79, $89. Which is like, we will still get it under $100, but like they only are, the companies are only like EB and JB are only doing that because they need to.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I don't see games as being immune to inflation. I think it's important for them to be able to make up that money. Only if this increase helps reduce the number of microtransactions, which I don't believe it will. And I think that's the biggest hurdle, especially with 2K and NBA 2K20 as an example. They're one of the most like lottery gamble microfill transaction games that have come out in the last couple of years.
But it's currently free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, because they know because they're like, it's so open to spending $1,000 bajillion in it. Like, it was $4 last week. Look, what changes?
I mean, it makes sense that developers and publishers are upping the price because, I mean, it has. Development costs have probably raised quite a significant amount. I mean, you look at games from 10 years ago to what they are now, and they're taking longer to make, more man hour, bigger teams. Like, it just makes sense to, you know.
So this goes on a discussion that Sean Layden had over the last 2 weeks with, I forget who it was with, where he talked about how game length is a problem, and
Yes.
that stems from like the development costs. Like when we're trying to make big 60-hour games, and they need to have this level of fidelity, this level of whatever, like that's cost, and then we're not charging any more for the game at the entry point. This is unmanageable. This is unsustainable. And I think that sort of goes hand in hand. Like if the price goes up, like are we going to see less bang for our, quote unquote less bang for our buck? Now, mind you, as an older player, a 15-hour game is mint. Like that's what I want.
As a father,
Yeah.
a 15-hour game is. But don't get me wrong. Here's CDPR kicking down the door saying, "Hold my beer. Here's a 120-hour Cyberpunk game."
Yeah, you know how much that makes me not want to play it?
Oh, I'm so keen.
Every time that I hear a game's like, ooh, there's hundreds of hours, I'm like, fuck. Come on. Like even Last of Us, like I loved it. And it's like, this game's gonna be about 25, 30 hours. I'm like, fuck. Thankfully I got it under 25. I much appreciate it. But like I just don't have time, man.
Yep.
Like I understand that there are many younger gamers out there, but the average age of the gamer is going up, right? And presumably, those people have jobs and families and responsibilities, and we can't commit to that many games. And with so many games that are wanting, that are going for the games as a service model, there's even less time for those that want to play something that isn't like fucking Fortnite or Division or Rocket League or I don't know what else, Valorant, whatever other game is sort of biting for your time and fighting for your time.
Yeah.
I think there is certainly a place. Like if you as a developer believe that your game should be 30 hours long, who the fuck are we to say? Right? I am in no way. Hell yeah, you do you. But then when I played Assassin's Creed and it's just full of fluff and absolute wasting and not disrespecting my time, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get out.
It's valid.
And they're like, oh, but you could pay your way to get more time. Like, no. Nuh-uh. But, of course I didn't pay for the game, so thank you, Ubisoft. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, so where do you sit? On the price? Is that correlation?
Like I said, that pricing makes sense to me. I mean, a $10 increase over what is essentially 15 years.
Which is weird because I remember paying $100 for games back in the day.
Yeah. I remember buying a brand new copy of Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1 for $120 from Game Traders back in the day. That's how long ago that was.
Like I remember
that was a PlayStation 1 game.
I remember paying $90.
I think that was the most expensive game I've ever bought.
For Resident Evil 4 on PS2. I think it was about $90.
But I mean, like you brought up, our RRP is $109.99 when it comes in. But because everyone in this day and age price matches and everyone's out to get your business, I don't think I've paid over $64, $69 for a game in a very long time.
Yeah, so like originally you could get for like $50. Remember when $50 was like the base price? But that's because the cost was different. But now the last I heard, the cost price of getting a game in is $63. So right now they're getting $6 a game as a company, like whether that be JB or whatever. But thankfully JB can sell like TVs and overpriced HDMI cables in order to make up the difference. So they're able to fight that fight.
Yeah, see, they probably make most of their profits, especially in the games industry, is probably insignificant compared to what they're doing in their like electronic retail, like their fridges, their TVs.
But if you start, for them, it's the idea of this is standard business, right? Like if you connect your gaming with them while you're there, you'll buy a game, you might buy a DVD, you might buy a CD, you might buy this. Like when you go to need a new TV, you're like, well, I bought my console from there, or I bought games from there. I trust them, and I'll go there. Yeah. So it's all about building that groundwork. Like, yes, they don't make a lot of money now, but in the long run, they probably will. So yeah, I don't see we as the Australian consumer suddenly forking out $120 because there'll always be someone willing to fight for that price. But that comes down to that digital edition. If it does pop up, when it does pop up, whether you jump on it, because
it will be interesting to see what the digital pricing structure will be.
Because can you pull it up for me? Pull up the PlayStation Australia store.
I've lost my mouse.
Because I just want to check something. I do want to check, say, the price of The Last of Us Part 2. Because like in my head, it's $99.95.
That's exactly what it is.
Is that exactly what it is?
Pretty sure.
So even then, it's actually less than what we think it is.
Yeah, so standard edition $99.95, deluxe for $114.95.
Oh well, that's interesting because like as far as I knew, $109 was our retail price. So even then, they've taken $10 off it. So pull up at EB Games. Sorry, as we do research mid-show here, I just want to double check something.
You've done me dirty here. Okay, cool. Yep. $99.95.
Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Well, there was a while there when everything was $109, right?
Yes.
Ah, cool. I thought I may have had some Mandela effect there and made that shit up.
Maybe.
But who knows?
I'm pretty sure they used to have $109.95 stickers on them. And then I don't think anyone ever paid that price.
Well, yeah, only dumb people that didn't price match. But, well, that kind of proves the point right there. Like, Australia as a games purchasing community, we aren't even paying what we're supposed to be.
Classic Aussies trying to get... Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Crysis Remasters in Crysis.
Is it?
Yeah. Crysis Remastered was due to officially reveal earlier this week. However, things got changed. Due to a leak revealing a trailer and some screenshots, the fans were not too happy with what they saw. Coming from the game's official Twitter page, they have given a statement confirming the postponement of both the reveal trailer and the game itself. No new date has been set.
It's pretty bad when even your trailer has to be delayed.
Yeah, so the trailer got leaked. People looked at it and went, no, this looks like garbage, guys, come on. And now everything's getting shut down.
Well, I think the biggest hurdle here is Crysis has been a benchmark for so long in the PC space that if it doesn't maintain that level of high fidelity, then it's instantly not living up to expectations.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be the bar for so long and then be like, yeah, I'm not going to put,
It's different being the bar for PC and then trying to make it look good on a console, though.
See, but I don't give two shits about Crysis personally.
I also don't give two shits about Crysis either.
So, like, whatever happens, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. It's just interesting that, once again, the internet are yelling at people and things are changing because of it, which is, in my opinion, a very bad precedent to set.
Very true.
Let's talk some anime, Ryan.
Yeah. Woo.
Bandai Namco announces Play Anime.
I'm going to lean back a little bit and take my phone.
Bandai Namco is the latest publisher to announce its own digital showcase titled Play Anime Live. This live stream will feature news and trailers of the publisher's upcoming lineup. Given the name of this event, it is safe to assume we will see a lot of licensed titles, and we may also see another glimpse of PlayStation 5's Scarlet Nexus. The stream will kick off Wednesday, 22nd of July, so that'll be the Thursday, the 23rd for us Aussies. Ken?
Of course, you're keen. It's animes. So, okay, well, I'll let you. I'll indulge you for a little while because you indulged me with a whole bunch of my inane garbage. So, what would you hope to see from here?
So, I would imagine, like I've put in, I would imagine it would be a lot of the licensed games.
Yeah. So, like, what is there that's not been announced? Like, so, like, I guess because Persona has an anime, but that's also Atlas. That's not Bandai.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of what else Bandai is doing.
I think Bandai do the Naruto fighting games.
Yeah, they do.
I think they do the One Piece games from memory.
Yeah,
obviously Scarlet Nexus will be
a Dragon Ball Z. Is there a new Dragon Ball Z game coming out?
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know. Well, we already had Kakarot earlier this year.
Yeah, so they might be announcing story DLC. Maybe they'll take on the Super Saga. Who knows?
There was a season pass, so it's very likely there might be more down there. But like, because in terms of unless it's one of the big animes, because I'm just going by PR blast we get now in the emails. 9 times out of 10 they're being handled by like Koei Tecmo and stuff. Yeah. So like they like Fairy Tail and sort of those side smaller ones. I think even Attack on Titan went through Koei. So I guess it's only the big guys, which would be your Naruto's and My Hero, I guess.
Yeah,
and others. See, look at me sounding like I know what animes are.
So yeah, it should be good. Obviously, getting another look at the at Scarlet Nexus, which Sony showed off in their state of play for the PlayStation 5 reveal. So that no,
was it a Square?
Was
I thought Nexus was Square. That's because everyone.
Possibly.
That's why.
Was
No.
Square did that other one that didn't have
Yep.
the Project Alita or whatever.
That's
it was.
the one. Yes, my apologies. You are correct.
I'm like, hang on, did I write this wrong?
No,
I just screwed up.
Because I remember one of the projects, everyone's like, "Is it Final Fantasy?" And then I'm like, "But Final Fantasy isn't Bandai.
Yeah,
it's not Square."
Continuing on with other publishers doing their own thing, Devolver Digital is going direct.
Oh yeah, this is
So in a press release, the publisher teases, quote, the new game reveals, gameplay reveals, release date announcements, and special guests from the industry with a focus on gameplay because that's what the youths of today demand. The live recorded presentation will air on Twitch on the 11th of July.
God, I love Devolver, man. Like,
Devolver's so good.
Their yearly conference
They
is
have like
by
pretty
far
zany
the
conferences and
best
stuff, don't they?
Fucking
Yeah.
thing. I love it. Like last year, that woman just got a nosebleed midway through, and it was all scripted, of course, and it was just beautiful.
So they're going the route of pre-recorded presentations.
They've done that the last couple of times. It allows me to get real dumb.
Yep. So they're just sticking it online now, so everyone can watch along.
And Devolver like have a good range of like independent games too. So there's some really good. There's always a good standout in there. There's one that'll catch your attention, and super keen. Super keen.
Next up, we have Ubisoft Forward.
Oh yeah.
So
is this based on
joining many other devs and publishers? Ubisoft are hosting a digital event. Live stream kicks off at 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, the 12th of July. I actually think it's going to be Monday, the 13th of July at 5 a.m. To watch the live stream, check out Ubisoft's Twitch or YouTube channels. Ubisoft hasn't announced a running time for the event. They did release a teaser trailer to go along with this announcement. Games showing were Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs Legion, and Hyperscape. Hyperscape being their newly announced Battle Royale game. It's in closed beta currently on PC. If you want to check it out, it is coming to PS4 and PS5 later this year. Could be wrong though. Other likely mentions could include Far Cry 6, Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and of course Skull and Bones.
So the big thing here is I got sent a lovely image this morning from good friend Dash in regards
PG?
to totally PG, in terms of Far Cry 6, because for the longest time, Dash has this thing where he calls me Ryan Ubisoft Betson.
Yep.
Because I've had my love for the Ghost Recon, not Breakpoint, and my love for Far Cry, and I 9 times out of 10 I'm reasonably enjoying Ubisoft titles. And then he knows that I love Breaking Bad.
Oh, well, I've got that in here.
Oh, is that the next bit?
Then
I'll back up for a set and let you do that part.
Far Cry 6 has been heavily rumored ever since Bloomberg's Jason Schreier let it slip a while back. Now it looks like Breaking Bad and the Mandalorian actor Giancarlo Esposito
It's him.
will play the main villain role.
You can't see him, but that's Gustavo Fring right there.
The story started to heat up a few days ago when Esposito said he had been working on a huge video game. Sourced from an interview with Collider, quote, this video game I did, which is going to be huge, I can't really mention anything more. Adding more fuel is Game Reactor UK, who in a deleted article stated that the actor in question will indeed star in a Far Cry 6 game.
Not even mad, because I'm just going to put it out there, right? So if anyone that is a fan of Breaking Bad, therefore you may be a fan of Better Call Saul, the gentleman whose name I can't remember in Far Cry 3 played Vass. He plays Nacho in Better Call Saul. So, like, he's obviously a good enough actor to make his way into Vince Gilligan's shit, so... Hell yeah. And Gustavo Fring is exceptional in as a character in Breaking Bad. Therefore, it was Esposito, but whatever his name is. He is phenomenal. And the idea of having him in a Far Cry game, you can call me Ryan Ubisoft Breaking Bad bets and all you want, because I'm going to be rock hard for that game. If he is in it and it is, oh man, woo! Get me all the moist.
Well, you don't have long to find out. It is their live recording is next week.
Away.
Next weekend.
I want it. I play it so bad. I think he'll, because if they get him to go down the route of Fring, to be that straight menacing sort of character, then that would be awesome. But we've also seen him do other great things as well, so a bit more exuberant in his character. But yeah. Get Bryan Cranston in there too. Fuck it, it's good. Make Breaking Bad the game. Ubisoft created it. This is it, done.
Moving on to things that aren't happening anymore.
Oh, okay.
Or were
did we talk last week about what's happening in Ubisoft with Valhalla?
Yes.
We did. Yeah,
the
okay,
creative director leaving
right.
because of
Yeah.
I covered it. We did. And similar stories coming up next. Evo 2020 has been re-cancelled. So Evo 2020 was cancelled. For those not quite aware, Evo is a big fighting game convention. So Evo 2020 was cancelled earlier this year due to the pandemic, but a series of online events were set to replace it. These events have now been cancelled. Joey Sweller,
Sure.
my apologies if that's incorrect, commonly known as Mr. Wizard, has been accused of sexual misconduct.
Yeah, no sorries anymore.
He was the CEO of Evo, but has now been removed from the organization in every way possible. Over the last 24 hours before Evo made an official statement to the public, fighting game developers and publishers withdrew their support from the event. Capcom, Bandai Namco, NetherRealm Studios, and more all released statements confirming their immediate removal from the Evo scene. A number of commentators, streamers, and competitors have also withdrawn their support. The statement that Evo, the Evo company, released to the public was, quote, over the past 24 hours in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we have made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Sweller will no longer be involved with Evo in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all responsibilities and duties. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO. In this position, he will take a leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across Evo, both internally and at all our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight or without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice. We are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening to and committed to making every change that will be necessary in making Evo a better model for the stronger, safer culture we all seek. As a result, we will be cancelling Evo Online and will work to issue refunds for all players who chose to purchase a badge. We will donate the equivalent of the proceeds as promised to Project Hope.
Shit's fucked, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's so... Like, it is good that all this stuff's coming out of the woodwork, but it's just like...
It shouldn't have happened to begin with.
Yeah, it's so horrid, man. Like, it's just horrible everywhere. Like I said, wrestling's horrible. Gaming's horrible. Like, fuck. Everything I love is just horrid. It's like, why has any of this been allowed to happen? Makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Like, there are, like I said, I told this last week, there are moments where I just kind of want to throw my hands in the air and just fucking give up. Yeah. I mean that as in just, we're surrounded by horrible shit all the time. Like, in all forms of entertainment. And it's just like, with movies, and thankfully, as some of my recent, like, Harvey, all the people that were against Harvey Weinstein, they've all won. They've all got some dollary dudes. It's no way near enough because that guy's a fucking monster. So, like, you see within, like, movies and games and TV and wrestling and sports and everything is just horrible people being horrible, and it actually makes, like, I'm not even involved in terms of a victim or someone that has spoken out, and I'm like, this is fucked. Just shut it all down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's unbearable how disgusting this is becoming everywhere. Everywhere. I know that's really, like, sad way to look at it, but fuck, man. Makes it very difficult to enjoy.
Yeah.
Shit.
It does. It does. Anyway, we will press on.
Try to be happy about it, I guess.
Let's talk PlayStation Indies, or what I'm now referring to them as Pindies. Sony has formally announced the PlayStation Indies. Shuhei Yoshida has been working towards this since he left his previous position as president of Worldwide Studios. Yoshida says the aim with PlayStation Indies is to spotlight and support the best of the best indie games being published on PlayStation and the entire indie community as a whole. He hopes for the platform to become the best place to develop, find, and play great indie games. As part of PlayStation Indies, one new indie game will make its way onto PlayStation Now each month, and it begins with Hello Neighbor coming to the service this month.
I love this because one of the big things that made the PS4 kick ass at the start of generation was its support of indie games. There was a window of time when PlayStation were like, indies, yeah, fuck yeah, woo. And then that kind of died out a little bit, which was a bit of a bummer. But indies are a good building block to what is, you got your big tentpoles, like your big releases, and then you've got, you more and more, and then everything gets sort of, it's building a bigger frame, right? And like PlayStation there's this great initiative. I can't remember what it was called. I remember interviewing a bunch of people at PAX Australia around it, where essentially they are providing dev kits to universities.
Oh yeah,
and it's like this little initiative that's the PlayStation have. They're like, here you go, just make some cool games. Go ahead and you got our support. It was a great idea. And additionally, speaking of PAX, Shuhei Yoshida on Twitter this week reached out.
I saw that
and was like, "Hey guys, I'd love to come to PAX. How can you make
PAX
it happen?"
Australia.
PAX Australia. Yeah. How can we make it happen? And we didn't make that happen, everyone. So do what you do. Use the internet for good, and let's get Shuhei Yoshida here for PAX 2021. Let's do it. Let's get the shoe man. But yeah, indies are good. Because you probably play more indies than I do.
The indies are the best.
Yeah, I always praise indies, but then I never play
There's
them.
always these like secret, hidden darling indies that no one ever gets on, and they so much deserve to be looked at. So it's good that the big guys are like, look at them.
Yeah,
like it's important.
Well, yeah, especially when you've got like Microsoft with Games Pass, which is kind of this great little side thing to sort of help indies get a platform. PlayStation there to have to step back up again and get it and start supporting independent games.
Last bit of Expo news.
Oh yeah,
Dreamscom.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about this.
Dreamscom is taking place right now within Dreams. It's providing hundreds of creators with a space to share their vision with the wider audience. Shared across 42 rooms are more than 300 exhibits, each one with a booth customized by each participant. Many stalls link to playable creations. However, there is no rush to check this out as the show doesn't seem to have an end date at this time. But how rad is that? You get to make your own booth. You walk around the space. If it continues running for the rest of this month, Dreams is getting its big update called Inside the Box on the 22nd of this month, which brings PlayStation VR capability.
Yeah!
You can put your VR headset on and go to DreamsCon.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, what do you reckon?
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's such a cool idea, man.
It's
Like it's taking really the sort of true innovation that they've been pushing, what they want to get out of it. So it's awesome. And VR support's going to be cool because like be able to create things in 3D space.
Yeah. So the update is called Inside the Box and will bring compatibility with PSVR to Dreams. In addition to this functionality, Media Molecule is adding a new tutorials, how-tos, and kits to get you started when building in VR. And an onboarding introduction called All Aboard VR will help you get familiar with the Dreams VR controls and what it'll be like traversing the Dreamverse, whether you're a player or a creator or both.
We need to return to Dreams.
I will be returning to Dreams when VR hits it.
Yeah, so like we a good while ago we did a big live stream where Max and I for like 3 or 4 hours, whatever it was a good hunk of time. We just ran through. We just dream surfed. We had people come in that were Dreams creators, and they was like, "Hey, check this one out. Check this one out. This is one you should check out." It was awesome. It was a great thing. My son still watches it because he loves the spooky thing we did. He thinks it's fantastic. But yeah, so for you and I, it's like we should do it again. It's see where Dreams has come. So it's been a long while since I've dove in. Have you dove in since that stream?
About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I check stuff out every once in a while. I've still got it installed. I go in and look at there's a. I think Push Square do a lovely weekly. These are the 5 dreams that you should check out.
Yeah,
I'll go in and have a look at those.
Cool. Well, because I'd love to see where they're at now compared to where they were. I think there's been a good amount of time now that all that cream should be rising to the top. We should be seeing the best that Dreams has to offer.
Yes. Before we hit the quick bits,
yes,
we've reintroduced the top 10 games.
We've brought it back, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks in a row, PlayStation Australia have collated once again the top 10 best-selling games in Australia. This is for the week ending of the 26th of June 2020. I'll read this one out for funsies. Number 1 is The Last of Us Part 2, to no surprise. Number 2, Spongebob. Oh, I should probably talk about that too. Spongebob, The Battle for Bikini Bottoms at number 2. The Last of Us Part 1, Remastered. Number 3, GTA 5 at number 4. It's gone up a spot. Number 5 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 6, NBA 2K20, probably because it's free. Number 7, FIFA 20. Number 8, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. Number 9, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. And number 10, Need for Speed Heat.
Nice. No. My big surprise there was SpongeBob at number 2.
Yeah. So actually, which is
good. good for them.
Before we wrap up the quick bit, let's jump at it now. So, big thank you to Koch Media, and we've recently just got in contact with them. We started working together. Koch, I got no idea how to exactly pronounce it. Probably should ask him. They provided a code for us to play Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottoms. I asked you, you went, no. So, I've been playing it.
What? It wasn't it was I don't really have time, and you'll play it with your kids, so you guys knock it out of the park.
Yeah, so
I'll leave this in your capable hands.
Yeah, so Battle for Bikini Bottoms Rehydrated is a ground-up remake of the PS2 of the game of the same name, where a bunch of robots are unleashed onto Bikini Bottom at the hands of Plankton, and you as SpongeBob and Patrick and Sandy work together to remove the robots and bring back Bikini Bottoms. I've put a good bit of time into it, not a lot. I say that because it feels like longer because I've been playing it with my kid.
Yep. So
he has been having an absolute blast with it, which is exactly what I wanted from this game. So, I never played the game originally back in the day, so I don't have that nostalgia, that attachment to it. So I was like, look, my son's loving SpongeBob right now. He's watching the movies, watching the series. He's a 3.5-year-old. He's having a great time. He's having the best. So, like, for him, he just stays in the first area, which has, like, Patrick's house, Squidward's house, and SpongeBob's house. And he just goes in and out of the houses, talks to the people, runs around, punches the tiki masks and stuff, and just does a blast. And then there's a secondary area that I sort of went into when he wasn't there, and he's like, oh, new area. He was playing it, and he just worked out if you jumped off the edge into the water or the goo, you die and you come back. Because it is essentially a child's game, it's really forgiving. There is no game over. You just have your 4 underpants of health, and then if you lose them, you just go back to a checkpoint. There's no like bram, bram, bram,
yeah,
which is really, really nice. So for him, I could literally leave him here for an hour, which I have done in the past, just because I'm a horrible parent, but just to like let him go, and he just plays and endless and loves it.
That's good.
Saying that, though, he's successfully broken the game 4 times. He's fallen through the map twice. Obviously, there's a finite number of times you can jump off the edge before you fall forever.
Yep.
I go, Dad! And I come in, he's just falling endlessly. He got the camera stuck inside SpongeBob at some point.
Interesting.
I don't know how he does it. Like, I think that the answer is here. QA teams, you need to get
hire kids,
hire children. I know it's totally illegal, but get children because they will break the games in a way you didn't anticipate. Because they'll just repeat a task or they'll get stuck in somewhere, and next thing you know, like he got stuck between 2 boxes. I don't know how he did it. It was actually genuinely impressive. But from a review standpoint, like, the game is visually amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really, really lovely. Like, when I think about games that have tried to make cartoons into 3-dimensional space, I think of the likes of the Futurama game. I think the likes of the Family Guy game on PS2. And I'm like, you look shit. Or even like, I guess because they're PS2 games, but even then like the Simpsons games as well. There's something about that transition from 2D to 3D, like especially with those ones, that it looks actually really jarring and kind of gross. And I guess the same can be said for many anime style games. They don't really land. Like the cell shading, I guess in the anime one doesn't really land. But here, I don't know how they've done it, but I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is SpongeBob. Like, I'm never caught in that weird middle ground of, you're normally not 3D. But, like, it looks lovely. The lighting is fantastic. There's even HDR in it. I don't know whether it's running at 4K, but it could be because it's sharp, it's crisp, it's pretty. And, like, the animations are really quite smooth. And, like, I've not had any sort of major hiccups aside from my son breaking the game. The gameplay itself is pretty straightforward and pretty simple because it is a PS2 game and it is a child's platformer. So it's your 3 basic attacks, and it's you from getting A to B and collecting a golden spatulas. So it's like you need X amount of spatulas to go to here, then you need Y to go there, and so on and so on. So it's pretty much a big collectathon, and I've had no real difficulty spikes yet. Just like, all right, moving on through, playing it, and like I'm not hating it, but I'm also not like loving it either. Like, so last night I was playing it and I was watching AEW's Fyter Fest while playing SpongeBob. So I had headphones on, watching wrestling, and I was just like hitting things and jumping. And it was awesome. Yeah. So there's a great like game like that. I've really had a great time. I've done a couple of boss fights, and like they were slight variants of the things you've learned in that early stages. So like obviously my son's way too young. He would never be able to do like a boss fight or anything. For him, that would just be like way too much in terms of difficulty. But like there is that good scalable difficulty as well. But you know, as seasoned vets like us, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think the big point of this game is for those that played it on PS2, loved it. You know, like they have that nostalgia for it. Because I have seen it be reviewed very low, which is fascinating me. Because as far as I am aware, it is a almost perfect remake of the original. Like the gameplay hasn't changed. It's just prettier and better and runs better. And then like, yeah, it's 5. I'm like, but how? This is what was wanted, right? You know, this is not Mafia 2 where it's a remake that looks worse and runs worse.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Like, was it originally rated a 5 when it came out on PS2, and then they've remastered it perfectly, so it's just kept that score?
Very possibly. I'll have to have a look at that. I didn't go that far back, but you know, it is 100% a cult classic, and it does exist because the fans, the masses.
Well, I mean, having watched you stream it, it looked great.
It looks fantastic. Yeah, it is simple, and like because that's what it was.
Yeah,
it isn't supposed to be a complicated. It is complicated. It isn't The Last of Us. You know, it isn't the God of War. It is a child's platformer, and for what it is, it fucking smashes it.
Oh, that's good. Glad you and your kid had fun with it.
Yeah, so I'll do my very best to at least get credits on it. I'm not going to 100% it because that's exhausting, but it will remain on my PlayStation because my kid will want to play it constantly. And what's so great about it is like for me specifically is as he ages, he will get better at this game. Because right now he is learning platforming, simple platforming, jumping and attacking, and like he is progressing. Like compared to where he was X amount of time ago when he played like Untitled Goose Game and Paw Patrol. So there's no jumping; it's just moving around a track. Where here he's now learning jumping and knowing how to dodge an attack and to attack. So this game will see some time with us. Because he'll play it and then he'll come back in 6 months or whatever, and then he'll be better at it again, and then probably within a year or so he'll be smashing the game and he'll probably get credits on it. You know what I mean? Like I'm using it as a great little growth game for him. So Reverend Puck in the chat has also added Metacritic's review of the original game for GameCube, PS2, and PC was a 71. So it was a fine game then. So I don't know how it could be worse.
Yeah, that seems a bit rough.
That's a bit rough. I think the game's great. In terms of, once again, it's one of those things about parameters. You look at it for what it is and how it works, and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, if you're like, hey, did you, like, you know, compare 2018's God of War to example, I just finished The Last of Us Part 2, and then I went to SpongeBob. Completely different games. Like, well, it's not quite as good as Last of Us. Well, of course it's not good as Last of Us. That game's amazing. But this game, for what it is and the frame that you need to look at it, the game rocks.
That's good to hear. Lastly, let's hit some quick bits. Worms is changing up its style.
Yeah, it's Battle Royale now too.
Worms Rumble swaps from turn-based to a Battle Royale coming to PS4 and PS5. I'm so keen.
Gross.
32-player Worm Battle Royale. Dig it. Snoop Dogg to star in Madden NFL 21's Rags to Riches campaign.
Sweet.
Last of Us 2 outsells the entire UK top 10 list combined in June.
Damn.
That's how good Last of Us 2 is.
But no one wants to play it. It's horrible. You know, there's leaks and no one wants to buy the game.
Horizon Zero Dawn
boycotting it.
Horizon Zero Dawn to release on PC and on Steam and Epic Game Store August 7th. The Steam listing price currently sits at $69.99 AU.
Yes, this was announced overnight at time of recording.
How do you feel about it being a $70 game when it's $20 on PlayStation?
Hell yeah, dude. But that's like, I have no issue with that personally because that's sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they've made all the money they can from it on PlayStation. They really can. So, like, moving to PC, it's tapping a whole different market of people that have wanted to play it. Yeah. And the game I think the game has enough prestige and legacy to be like, yeah, I'll justify that price. Because this week, Death Stranding comes out on PC as well. We did also do a quick check of of the PC specs. Turns out I can't even run it at recommended on my PC. So
That's interesting.
I'm playing on the PC. I'm playing on the PS4 still.
Reverend Park puts in chat, it's $50 in America. Bought the game at launch and DLC. I'll buy it again on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned it. It is the complete edition of Horizon Zero Dawn, so it will come with...
So, yeah, you just bought it on PS4.
I just bought it for $13.
And you're going to buy it on PC?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
No. I'm going to get Death Stranding again, though.
Yeah. If I had because that game would look amazing.
Do I want to mod Death Stranding? Yes, I do.
Like if I had a better graphics card, which is the one thing that's hurting me right now, I'd probably buy it.
And last of all, A Plague Tale: Innocence has sold more than 1 million copies worldwide.
I own that game. I haven't played it because I have a crippling fear of mice.
It is so good.
I know. I hate mice. I hate rats.
So
hate
good.
Hate them.
Incredible
hate
game.
And the idea of a big swarm of those fuckers. No, thank you. Thank you very much, Tom.
Double checking, make sure I hit everything.
We hit all the beats. Then we hit all the beats.
We hit all the beats. That's it for the news. Let's have a chat. Let's suit up and have a chat. Iron Man.
So, we are now going to talk about Iron Man VR. So, once again, big thank you to PlayStation Australia for providing us the code for Iron Man VR. It's from Camouflaj. It's Camouflaj, but it's spelled funny. And the basic premise of it is you are Tony Stark, you are Iron Man, you have haunted by the past of when you were a weapons distributor. A new villain that's being given the name Ghost is wanting you to have repercussions for your actions of the past in VR. What do you think? Where are you at, Max?
So I first played this when they released the demo, about a month ago now. So the demo was primarily just the initial tutorial level. So when I started replaying it, I played it last night and I was doing the tutorial level. So the tutorial level is basically teaches you how to use your thrusters, how to shoot. It's like you can fly with one hand and shoot with the other, but it's a little bit harder, and they make you do like a shooting course. It teaches you how to turn, movement, all that stuff. And then it's like, all right, now we're going to do flying. We're going to teach you how to fly. So you do your flying. And it's like, all right, we're going to put everything all together at once. You're going to fly, you're going to shoot, you're going to turn, you're going to dip, dive, dodge, shoot.
Dip, duck, dive, dodge.
Anyway, it gives you a timer at the end of this level. And I apparently sucked because I got 2.5 minutes.
Oh, I got more than 2.5.
And then it comes up with a record time of 23 seconds. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do this faster. And I nearly threw up. It's the first VR game that's made me super sick. And I don't know what's causing it. Because I turned off it has two types of camera movement. It's got the 90 degrees, push a button, and you just shift 90 degrees, the snap 90 degrees. Or it's got smooth movement, which doesn't feel very smooth to me because you can move your head at the same time and it gives you this horrible sense of... I don't know what it is. Just this weird motion sickness got to me. And after about an hour and a half of playing, I had to stop because I was losing my legs, essentially.
Interesting.
Controlled pretty well from what I was playing. The movement was pretty intuitive. You hold your hand backwards like Iron Man does to shoot yourself up in the air. I was thinking to myself the whole time, I really wish I had one of those rigs where I could lie down and it would spin me around as I was flying.
Yeah, you want to vomit.
I just want to be Iron Man. But it was fun. Yeah. Graphically wise, it's not the prettiest thing. Obviously, I wear glasses when I play VR as well, so I get this horrible screen door effect that's magnified by my glasses because I'm basically blind in one eye. But you live out all the dreams of being Iron Man. You get that cool HUD. It's fine. Yeah, look, I agree with you pretty much on all those points. I really enjoy the control system for it is really intuitive because it does. There is a Let's Play up on the channel that I posted. You can sort of see my second run at it because I tried a little bit before I recorded the Let's Play just to make sure I was kind of across the board with it.
Yeah, having having to use the move controls backwards and just sort of like, use
like
it for propulsion.
If your hands are down the side, you go up. If they're in front of you, you go backwards.
But there's also enough using the accelerometers in the move control. There's enough finesse that you can like slightly pivot and you can like duck and weave. So I use the smooth movement because even though I get pretty brutal motion sickness, the smooth is better because it's closer to realistic movement. Now, in terms of the turn, so I had to move on fast smooth, right? So what I would do in order to remove my sickness is as I would turn, I would look at where I want to go and then I would turn into it and straighten my head out. Yeah. So rather than me going and then wanting to chunder, I'm moving in like a 2-step fluid motion.
Well, see, I think my issue was I was looking to where I wanted to go as I was moving it, snapping it towards me, so the world was shifting to the left as I was turning to the right to look at it faster.
Oh, there's your problem.
And I'm just like,
so like I myself only almost vommed the once, and that was when I was like, ha ha, and I came into the tennis court to land, and I was like, oh no, and I went way too fast, sudden stop it. And like, so like I do get that like upset feeling as I'm flying around, but once, depending on what I'm doing, so when there's the two, like you get a little tutorial mode, so you have the initial tutorial mode, and then when you start unlocking more things for your suit, you get to do the little the tour practice tutorial outside, Tony Stark's Malibu mansion. There I get most sick. I feel most sick because I am focusing on doing something. Yeah, I say that as in like I'm trying to do a course, I'm trying to be quick, I'm trying to be fast. But when I've been in missions, because I'm distracted or I'm focused on an enemy or something happening, I'm finding myself get less sick. So in the first mission, which is the Tony, the Air Stark 1, or whatever the hell they called it, like Tony's airplane gets blown out of the sky and you've got to like take all the enemies out, save Pepper, and bounce. Because I was focusing on the enemies and the plane, I didn't feel ill. If anything, it felt fucking awesome. Just sort of been like that, because you're in the sky, and I have a gnarly fear of heights as well. Like I have a pretty brutal fear of heights. So here I'm facing my fear of heights while also wanting up to chunder everywhere. So my legs are just jelly the whole time. But it is a rush. Because like when you see the plane, you're like, all right, you gotta go in there and pull the landing gear down. I'm like, all right, and then like I'm almost like skiing luge. I'm like bending down and I'm thrusting and I'm like ducking and weaving as well. Yeah, I'm thrusting, ducking and weaving and coming in there and yanking it out and grabbing Pepper and like scooting out of there and doing the whole like, because as the plane's coming down, I'm coming around on the left hand side and I'm like swooping my way and I'm like, as I said, watching it with my head and then turning it so gently as it's like a smooth movement to come in there and do whatever I need to do. And when you really start getting into like the inertia is probably the wrong word, but of the controls, and you're like sort of like you're understanding the finesse and you're getting it, you're like that some of that goes away and you do forget what you're doing, especially and you do kind of forget the graphics, because as you mentioned, it isn't beautiful. But there is yet to, especially in PSVR, there's yet to be a completely stunning VR game. Yeah. And the reason for that is, A, it's 1080p and it's this close to your face. There's only so much they can do. And like they're obviously trying here. They're trying to do a lot with the game because load times are asshole. They are so bad. Yeah. So bad. Like,
I mean, the second half is very quick, but the first 50% is garbage.
Like I was showing my wife the Let's Play video, right? And she goes, did it not capture the game? Because when you boot the game up and then you stare at a blank screen for about 45 seconds.
Yeah, that was really jarring because obviously when I was playing it, my wife and kid were asleep at the time. I'm like, put my headset on. And then I'm like, did I not start the game? Like, this is a horrible black screen for like a good minute. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's on.
See, and that's the problem with it, like that. Like, I understand there is a lot more required to run a VR game, right? A lot of assets, the different things, processing at X amount because you need a good frames here, otherwise you're going to chunder even harder. There's a lot of processing that goes into a VR title. However, when you're strapped in VR, time is different. Time feels different. a longer loading screen isn't as much of a problem in when I'm sitting here playing this on TV, because I can just pull my phone out and kill a couple of seconds or whatever, or look at my kid or do whatever in the house. Like there's somewhere else for me to shift my attention while the game loads.
But when you're stuck in darkness with headphones on,
when
you
you're
can't
stuck
see or hear anything.
Yeah, and like when you're in a menu
terrifying.
screen and you're standing there and there's two things you can read that are about 3 sentences long, and you read it and you go. And then you see it's like 20%. You're like, fuck me. All right, what do I do now? Like you just like you it's quicker, and you run out of things to look for, and you just.
When you first boot it up too, the play area is super restrictive in this too that I found. So when you first boot it up, it asks you to do an Iron Man T-pose.
Yeah.
So, and it measures your arm length, and it's like, all right, cool. You can't reach outside of that. That's the cutoff. And you'll look down, and there's this tiny little circle, and it's like, if you move out of this circle, you're done ski.
I'm about as round as this circle, mate.
You can't see me anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's this game. I've tried to play it both seated and standard. It's almost impossible to play seated because of the way you have to hold the controllers.
Well, yeah, you'd need to use a seat like this, which doesn't have arms on it,
Yeah.
or a stool or something.
And once you need to play this standing and feet planted and not move.
Yeah. And then, you want to plant them feet because you're going to fall. Because, like, when you start, like, zipping and ducking and you're trying to be Iron Man, like, you might lose your balance. Like, I did have a little bit of that. I'm like, whoa, trying to, like, do whatever I needed to do.
It is also jarring when you fly into a wall and you just come to a sudden stop and
it slows down.
And your
can't,
body,
like, collide with it.
Your body kind of lurches forward a little bit.
But saying that, though, to add to that intuitive nature of it, like, when you're flying and you're getting to a wall, as you said, you just push your arms forward and thrust and you rocket yourself back. Like, you do have that level of control, but as I said, like, there are some forgiving things that come with it in being in VR, and that is its visual fidelity and just some of its, there are some basic setup here, because the game at its core is incredibly basic.
It's essentially just a rail shooter.
Yeah, it's
your own rail.
It's a open world rail shooter.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the arena, you can do whatever you want in this arena. Enemies will come at you in waves. You shoot them, you move on. And then you'll go to a mission where you explore a location by just jumping to different points and fucking with things on tables. Then you go back to another level where you're flying around and shooting. And I understand that what else could they really do? Like, that's being Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like, they can't tell this big story.
We're not going to shareholder meetings and...
Yeah, it's like, you go see the Avengers and, and then you have shawarma or whatever it is. Like, there's only so much you can do. But I think, once again, with VR, because there's the setup and because it so locks in your focus, because the game itself, I haven't finished it yet, neither of you. I also
haven't finished it.
But I believe it's about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which... sounds really cool.
I'm going to see it through.
That's a long time in VR, though.
It is a super long time in VR.
Especially if you're getting a little bit of the upset tummies, you know what I mean? Like, I play for about an hour and then I'm like, no, I'm out.
Although in saying that, I have spent long hours in VR before.
Yeah, I haven't.
But it's been like, for example...
like Beat Saber or Audica or something.
Yeah. Games that I can kind of just chill out and play. Like, obviously, Audica is fantastic because you can sit down and just shoot targets.
Yeah, so the problem is, like, because I play in here, so I have to shift the table to the side because I can do it in the lounge room, but my kid's always there. As much as I love him, he's like, Dad, what are you doing, Dad? Dad, I'm going to be Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man, woo! And running around my feet and stuff. I accidentally kind of punched my shoulder today.
Well, I had to do the same thing. I kind of mounted my PlayStation camera on the wall. So I've got 3 screens in front of me and the camera's on the wall to the side. So I'm facing away from all my screens, looking directly at the camera.
Yeah.
And then it's still like, you're too low. Can't see the controllers. I'm like, are you serious? But,
yeah.
Look,
like I said, it's one of those situations of, like, for what it is, yeah, it's pretty sick. Because the way I see VR is a way to experience games in different ways, or to sort of put you into a game that you would in a way you wouldn't experience.
A more enhanced immersiveness.
A more enhanced way. Like, if this was a game not in VR, it would suck. It'd be so boring. It would not be worth any money.
Yeah.
But once you're in there and you're scooting around, flying around, and pew-pewing, like, it feels more. It feels bigger.
Yeah.
So, like, It's a tough sell for me because, like, is it a game that if you have VR, should you pick it up? I would probably say yeah, because I think it's a good showcase piece.
Yeah.
Alone, like, because I think we discussed in the past, like, if like, hey, I've just bought PSVR, what game should I buy? Like, well, you should buy Skyrim VR because imagine experience. Like, if you want a big ass experience in VR, awesome. You want to get Blood and Truth. Blood and Truth is dope.
Astrobot.
You want to get Astrobot because Astrobot is awesome.
Yeah, obviously Beat Saber.
And Beat Saber. And I think it could be in that same line. Like, well, you want a truly awesome ass experience. Get Iron Man.
It's interesting because, like,
feel like Iron Man.
The best showcase games for VR are the ones that are simplistic in their nature. So Beat Saber is just you're listening to music and you're slicing to the beat.
And fun fact, you can use the old PopCulturists theme song in there. So back in the day, we reached out to a artist called Tristan and using his song and... Yeah, so we reached out to him and was like, hey, man, we love your song. Can we use it for our podcast theme? He's like, sure, dude, no worries at all. It's called Till It's Over. And yeah, and then sure enough, I got a bunch of messages on Twitter like, hey, from like friends of mine, like, your theme's in Beat Saber. I'm like, get the fuck out. Sure enough, because he works through Monster Cat. So yeah, would you put it on that list of games that you must buy to play in VR?
I think I'm in the same category as you. I don't know if I would classify it as a must buy, but it's definitely a good showcasing piece to show people, like, new people to the tech.
Yeah. Like if I've got friends coming over and they're like, oh man, you got VR, can I give it a bill? I'm like, yeah, cool. What I'll give them, like, Iron Man. I probably would give them Iron Man. Probably give them like
the Star Wars Battlefront VR experience is probably a really good one.
Yeah, that one's a pretty dope one. A job simulator. You mean, like, there's a handful of games that give very different experiences, and there are other experiences similar to Iron Man, but I think the novelty of it being Iron Man might be enough to get it across the line.
Yeah, because you know, like I said earlier, you do get that nice Iron Man HUD in your face constantly, and you can, you know, just the fun of flying around and blasting stuff is. Yeah, it's fun, but I can see it probably getting old quick.
Yeah, like, the idea of doing it for 8 hours, I'm like, But, like, because when I think about another, like, superhero game, like Spider-Man games in VR, they suck. They're not very good. They are horrid. And then you've got, like, Arkham VR, the Batman one. Like, that is awesome in terms of, like, you feel like Batman because you're doing detective investigating things, which is a part of Batman that everyone, all creations tend to forget, right? He's the world's greatest detective. He isn't just punchy, right?
He's not just punchy.
So, like, that is cool. I'm like, that's great. But then this is, like, that next step. I would consider Iron Man VR the next step in the groundwork that was laid by, like, Arkham.
Yep.
Because you're like, all right, cool. We get to do the cool, like, Bruce Wayne stuff, and there's some Batman stuff. But you're not swinging around Gotham. You're not flying around Gotham. You're doing just very grounded stuff. Where here it's like, all right, you've got the grounded stuff that was seen in, like, the likes of Arkham VR. But guess what? You can now propel yourself around the world and shoot things and blast things and be Iron Man. And, you know, the character pretty much sounds like it's like Robert Downey Jr. Like, they did even, like, try to not be anyone else. Like, that character is so ingrained.
Yeah.
Game's fun. But once again, I've not played... aside from this, the last time I played VR was... when I streamed Audica, and that was like the back end of last year.
Yeah, I think that was the last game I played, and I played that maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like 6 months since I played VR.
Because I got an email saying, "Hey, you bought the season pass. We have released another song pack." I'm like, oh, excellent.
Oh, cool. That means I'll have more songs.
So I played it for a bit.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna have to check that out. But anyways, let us know what you think of Iron Man VR. Is it a game that's going to sell you? Like, if you haven't picked up a PSVR yet, will that get you across the line? If you do have one, are you going to grab it? What do you think? Let us know in those comments below. And once again, as we said, big thank you to PlayStation Australia providing us the code to let us be Iron Man.
Unfortunately, everyone, there is no drop this week.
Yeah, because there's like no games coming out. Like in terms of games of note.
Same as last week. There was no drop, but there was a fair few games of note that would have come out.
Yeah, so it's a very quiet week in terms of releases. So in terms of PlayStation, there's not a whole lot. It's Death Stranding comes to PC this week. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town comes out on Switch. Yeah, we playing that. Look out for if you're interested. There will be a review coming on the channel this week. Yeah, whatever. And there's a new update for Animal Crossing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be playing this week.
Most of the big stuff is the week after.
Which is what's after? What's the week after?
Ghosts.
Ghost of Tsushima. That's true. Ghost of Tsushima is right around the corner, ladies and
Right
gentlemen.
around the corner.
Now, I do know some people that are playing it right now. Bastards. Hopefully we get to get our hands on it soon as well. I know you are incredibly keen.
So keen.
So looking forward to that, but that's still a little bit away. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the show.
Yes, this PlayStation podcast happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. Please check us out. Go to our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord. All the links in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you can watch us record this show live every Saturday, sometimes Sunday, mostly Saturday, where you can jump in the chat and you can join us just like Dash did, and just like Sqaurepants, who gave us a lovely follow, and of course the Reverend Puck and a couple of other awesome people. If you want to support the show, you certainly can by going to your podcast service of choice, giving 5-star rating, written review, all that. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you're on YouTube and you've watched this far, holy crap, what's wrong with you? And then give us a thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell, and all that usual YouTube-y stuff. You can also support us financially at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturists. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.